brought my own water. I didn't know if they had it in Hartland.
Then
I saw the pump there.
You got it, but you can't drink it.
All right, let's see. I might have to use actually the water.
Give me one. I drink my water. Hartland. Yeah. Well, we just came in from Detroit and various parts thereof, and it's good to know that the freeway system is working, but not around here.
Yeah, I started thinking if I was maybe in the wrong place when I came down Old 23. It started freaking me out like I was up north and I didn't have any directions.
You start looking for deer.
That's where you're from, eh, Luke? Wow. And if you don't know, now you know. All right, well, we're going to start with something that I sometimes start with, and of course, Robert actually met the man behind this piece, but it's, to me, it's a poem and a song, and everybody can participate in it. So what I want you to do is just start doing this. Tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator. Who's that riding? John the Revelator. Who's that riding? John the Revelator of the book of the seven seals. Now God walked down in the coolest day, called Adam by his name, but he refused to answer 'cause he wasn't naked and ashamed. I said, who's that riding? John the Revelator. Who's that riding? John the Revelator. Who's that riding? John the Revelator of the book of the seven seals. Now Christ had 12 apostles. 3 he laid away. He said, watch over me for just an hour while I go over yonder and pray. He said, who's that riding? John the Revelator. Who's that riding? John the Revelator. Who's that riding? John the Revelator of the book of the seven seals. He wrote the book of the seven seals. He wrote the book of the seven seals. Sunhouse. You want to do a Sunhouse?
Son was a great old blues man. It's like your uncle who knew everything. Used to say stuff like, you know, the Lions ain't gonna never win until they get a decent running game. True. That's true. He used to tell stories about love, and he said there ain't but one kind of blues, the real blues. That's the blues that exists between male and female. Everything else is monkey junk. So when I brought this Sunhouse record home, my grandmother knew that I loved blues. She knew that I had always loved the sounds of Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee, the stuff that came out of North Carolina, the smooth stuff, you know, the stuff that had 12 bars. Well, my baby and me, we never used to fight. Used to love her and kiss at night. Used to love that woman. She had gone away. She knew I liked that stuff. She said, that's the kind of music we used to listen to down south. But then when I found Sunhouse, and he started, she said, that's the music we moved from down south to get away from. Well, you see my little girl, well, they call Louise McGee. check. Yeah, you know it's a whole different game. Well, you know I'm gonna leave you, honey, and I won't be back no more. Well, you know I'm gonna leave you, honey, and I won't be back no more. Well, you know I'm gonna move to Hartland, Michigan, and you won't have to see me in your door. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Get my check at the end of that thing.
I was just thinking, I think what we should do is just, and we do this often, just kind of play off each other's words and stuff. And since this is related to the exhibit at the library, which is for how many more days is it? Someone said, I heard.
It's about 9 days.
February 9th.
Oh, okay, February 9th. So we're going to do some words and music and go back and forth on that sort of thing, dealing with the working class and labor. And Robert and I actually kind of started this book that I did, which probably, hopefully is at the library, but maybe they're saying, I don't know. If not, get out and buy that. But it was a Michigan Notable book, a couple of 2011. And Robert and I went around, we were up north, all over the place.
Engadine.
We were in Engadine. That's right, we were up in Engadine, which is a crossroads. That's interesting. But we went into this little cafe that was there, and nobody was there except for two people. There was a woman who played bass, and her husband who played different kinds of guitars, and they played during the lunch hour there, which must have been two people or something. And they had a thing out there for donations or tips or whatever, and I noticed that was empty, but Robert spied their guitar, and then they started talking. Anyway, this group, these two folks, we invited them over to the show that evening, which was kind of like this, but it was outside. It was in the summer, so it was in a little pavilion. But those are some of the interesting kinds of situations that Robert and I get ourselves
On the road with George Perot. Anybody remember George Perot? We are now George Perot. We have had pie in Engadine.
So what I'm going to do right now, which has nothing to do with any of what I just told you, I'm going to perform a poem that is from 1794. And it's by, you don't hear that many poems from 1794 anymore. So we like to kind of bring back that period with a poem by William Blake. And I'm sure people here have heard of William Blake before. This is from his songs of experience, and this is his poem called London. I wandered through each chartered street, near where the chartered Thames flow, and mocking every face I meet. My
radio station and asked about this tradition of music and poetry and labor, and how long and how deep does this tradition go? I was like, it goes a long way back. You could think of it maybe even going back to Chaucer, or even before then, you know. But the guy, when I think about music and about labor, the guy who pops immediately to my mind is Woodrow Wilson Guthrie, Woody Guthrie. And he immortalized a town in Michigan that I've been to. Talk about Engadine. Yeah. If you keep going, you end up in Calumet. You go beyond Calumet, you're in the lake. So, Calumet, beautiful town, beautiful city, built on the idea of copper mining. And you've got these folks who decide they want to form a union. And this story happens, this true story happens in 1913. And nobody necessarily knows about it or cares about it until Woody Guthrie finds it years later and writes a song attached to it. Now, things like this have happened before, things like this happened since, but there's something about having a song or poem that documents forever what happens. And then I discovered something else about the song a little bit later on, which I think I'll share with you after I finish the song, that makes it even cooler. It's the idea that Woody Guthrie was not a great guitar player. He was not a great singer. You know, his voice, you know, think about Bob Dylan got his influence from Woody Guthrie. So it's like, "Pack trade with me in 1913. I mean, the voice doesn't matter because the song has got to be greater than the singer. So sometimes ML and I will go into a classroom and we'll do the first four verses of the song, and kids will glean so much information by just the first four verses that it lets you know that you are really in the presence of a great songwriter. So this is the song. Take a trip with me to 1913 to Calumet, Michigan in the copper country. I'll take you to a place called the Italian Hole, where the miners are having their big Christmas ball. I'll take you to the door and up the high stairs. The sounds of Christmas are heard everywhere. Let's shake hands with the people you see and watch the kids dancing around the big Christmas tree. Will you ask about work and you'll ask about pay? They'll tell you they make less than $1 a day, working their copper claims, risking their lives. So it's fun to spend Christmas with children and wives. Well, I'll take you to the door and up the high stairs. The sounds of Christmas are heard everywhere. Before you know it, your friends with them all, and you're laughing and laughing around in the hall. Well, the little girl sits down by the Christmas tree light to play the piano, so you have to keep quiet. To hear all this fun, you would not realize that the copper boss thugs are milling outside. Well, the copper boss thugs stuck their heads in the door. One of them yelled and he screamed, "It's a fire." The lady, she hollered, "Ain't no such a thing. Keep on with your party, ain't no such a thing." Then others chimed in, "There's only a few. It's the thugs and the scabs who are trying to fool you." One man grabbed his daughter and he carried her down, but the thugs held the door and he could not get out. Then others followed, 100 or more, but Most everybody remained on the floor. The cop fussed and laughed at their murderous joke, and the children were smothered on the stairs by the door. Such a terrible sight I never did see. We carried our children back up to their tree. Cop fussed and laughed at their murderous spree. And the children who died there were 73. Piano played a slow funeral tune. The town was bathed in a cold Christmas moon. Parents they cried and the miners they moaned. Look what your greed for money has done. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I made a discovery coming across Canada about that song. As I do this routine where I'm doing a blues tune and I kind of speed it up for kids, and they realize that blues, if you speed it up, will morph into something else. So I was speeding up 1913 Massacre and sort of just messing around with the chords, and this is what it became. Take a trip with me to 1913, Calumet, Michigan, Cotton Country. Take it to a place called Italian Hall, where the minds are having their big Christmas ball. Pick through the doors, up the high stairs, singing and dancing, I heard everywhere. Before you know it, your friends with us all, and you're laughing and dancing around in the hall. Little girls sit down by the Christmas tree, like ready to be young, you have to keep quiet. Hear all this fun, but not realize the guy about us, the building outside. Willie Guthrie becomes Eminem. Pretty cool stuff. So we've been playing with the same words and the same images and the same rhythms for a long time, but we keep coming up with new creations all